Wonderful. I'm delighted to welcome today Jacqueline Tchouassi Audige, who is from JA Coaching for Harmony, and you are a relationship rescue coach. Jacqueline, welcome, and explain to us, what is a relationship rescue coach?
Well, thank you for having me over here to share my message with your lovely audience. I know that those who are listening is because they know that they will benefit from what I'm going to share here with them today. So thank you again for having me. Yeah, relationship. First, I have to share a little detail about my name. My name is Jacqueline Tchouassi Audige. So Tchouassi is my maiden name, and Audige is my marital name. So Tchouassi means problem solver. Problem solver. Yes, that's what it means in my vernacular. When I was born, my parents named me problem solver in my language because I was born in war, and they were hiding in the forest and running away from the war. And they told me, my mom told me that she was pregnant with me and they have to move a lot, because every time that they set a fire to cook whatever they have to cook to survive, they will hear the plane moving on top of them, and they will just turn off the fire quickly and move. So they move from camp to camp. And during the move, they have this animal that is called pangolin. Every time they move, they found pangolin, and that's what they fed on. They fed on pangolin, and pangolin kept them alive. So when I was born, and I was born in the forest, they named me Tchouassi, which means problem solver, because they credit the survivor to me, although I don't think that I have anything to do with it. So ever since I was conceived to now, I'm a problem solver. I solve problems. So I'm here because I have individual and couple who argue a lot and constantly fight over the lack of understanding of each other, create harmony, and return intimacy and peace to the relationship. It can be the personal or professional relationship. Yeah. And lately, I have been focusing more on individual, because I discovered working with clients that if you create that harmony in yourself first, you can conquer the world. You can do everything. And it starts with awakening of your body, your heart, and your mind. Those three are interconnected. And if you don't, and you know that, if you don't have, usually we say you are what you eat. But people don't go into detail through that when they say that, but you have to have those three, your body, your heart, and your mind connected to be healthy, to really be healthy in your relationship with yourself and relationship with others.
Absolutely. So your parents hiding in forests, and you popped out. What you mentioned, camp to camp. What war was that, Jacqueline? What country was that in?
Yeah, in Cameroon. I was born in Cameroon, and I grew up here. So I have been in the US for 30 years, 31 years. Oh, yeah. 31 years with my family. I moved here with my husband and my children 31 years ago. And I got into coaching individual and couple because of my own personal struggle. So I became a coach as a result of my own personal struggle. Just a few days ago, I was walking, and this is happening to me more and more. I was walking, and usually I walk every day. I walk every day. That's my own way of staying connected with myself, to center myself. That's my own way of doing it. So I walk every day. So in the neighborhood, there are many dog owners, and they walk with their dog. So just a few days ago, I went out and I was walking. I have a neighbor. He has this big dog. I don't know many dogs' names, so he's just a big German Shepherd. I believe it's a German Shepherd. I don't know. I never asked him. And I was walking. I was on top of the hill, on a different side of the hill, and he was going down with his dog, and the dog just stopped. He didn't want to move. He was just staring at me, and the dog owner glanced and he saw me, but he kept pulling the dog to move, to walk with him, and the dog was taking one step but turning and looking at me, but I was moving on the opposite direction. And I said to myself, this is not the first time that this is happening. The first time that it happened, I was close to the dog owner, and the dog just stopped and was gazing at me. And I was walking. I didn't pay attention because, I'm just doing my work, and and I have my earphone on. I didn't really pay attention until I heard the dog owner said, "Let's go, buddy, let's go." So when she said that, I turned and took off my earphone, and I saw the dog. The dog wasn't moving. She was trying to pull the dog. The dog didn't move. And I asked her, "What's going on? Does your dog want me to pet him?" I don't know if it was him or her. And she said, "This is unusual. My dog never stopped for anybody, especially perfect stranger." And she said to me, since she saw you come down the hill, she just stopped. She didn't want to move, and she was staring at you. And I said, "Do you want me to pet the dog?" And she said, "I don't know, but I believe you have something special, because this is unusual behavior for my dog." So I tried to pet her. She jumped, and they start moving. And at that moment, and I said to myself, "Oh my goodness." So people are noticing me now. Even the dog, even animals are noticing me. So I'm visible now, because for many years, I was invisible. I was my relationship was falling apart, and that went on for 27 years. I was arguing a lot with my husband. We fought a lot, and we didn't have any. The communication was non-existent between us for many years, and we seek help together. We seek help, but nothing was working. Nothing was working. And I was so tired, because I went to different professionals looking for help. Nothing worked. I kept going to and I went to one. I would spend like 5 sessions. Nothing would change, and I would say, maybe this is not the perfect professional for us. Let's look for somebody else. And we kept doing that. And finally, I said, I'm tired of this. I can't keep. We're not finding solution. We're hurting our children. We have 5 children. We're hurting our children, and I feel miserable. I'm not happy in this marriage. The best thing is to separate, or just outright get divorced. And I went so far as to call a divorce lawyer. And the divorce lawyer said to me, you have to deposit a 5,000 retainer before I start looking at your case. And when I heard those words, $5,000, I felt like a ton of brick just hit me. Because it wasn't because I couldn't pay the $5,000. I have money to pay for 5,000. But I just thought at the moment it was like a wake-up call. I felt so ashamed of myself. I felt so guilty and so selfish at that moment. And I said, so you're gonna pay 5,000 to destroy what you have built for 27 years? And I start thinking, because it felt like I was stuck in my mind. I wasn't thinking. So at that moment, I started thinking. So these were just a catalyst for me to start thinking straight. So at that moment, I said, no, there must be a solution to this problem somewhere. Somebody out there has the solution. And I will keep going until I found the solution. Coincidentally, at work, I had a difficulty at work, critical problem. And you know, misery call for misery. You have problem, and that's what I said to my client. When you have problems somewhere, examine yourself first. It means something is not going well with you. All those problems, you invite those problems to yourself. So a colleague of mine suggested a coach. At the time, I didn't know that there was there were coaches for a relationship. I only knew about football coach, coaches in the sports arena. I didn't know that there were coaches for a relationship. So I took a bite and I went to see this coach. And the coach scheduled me for 10 sessions. And in 5 sessions, my business issue was resolved. It's at that moment that I say, because every question that she was asking, the technique that she was using, I discovered that I was already using the same technique, but I didn't know that I was coaching, because I have I have a nonprofit that I started to help girls in rural community in Cameroon advance their education and transform their own life with quality education and better school infrastructure. And the staff over in Cameroon, I coach them. And this program for the last 18 years has been very successful. So when I saw that, I said, okay, so she's good. This is coaching. This is what is called coaching. Asking questions, because I ask questions all the time to my staff in Cameroon. I don't tell them what to do. I ask them what they want to do. And then we work on that together. So I said, oh, this is coaching. That inspired me to decide to go and train to become a coach myself. And it's during my training that I started using the coaching techniques and applying on me and my relationship. And it works like magic. In no time, I'm saying no time, honestly, the problem that we had, the argument, the fighting, the nagging, the yelling, they just disappear, you know. And the bigger one was that I was laying in bed with my husband, and we fell miles apart of each other, but we were in the same bed. That's when you know that problem is solved. When you when things in the bedroom start working again, you know that the problem is solved.
Brilliant.
So
So tell us about your we'll come back to your husband in a minute, but tell us about your Cameroon educational setup, because that's quite remarkable, isn't it? I remember you telling me about this before. Tell the audience what you've done there and why you've done it.
yeah, as the reason I started the project in Cameroon is because I have to drop out of high school myself. I have to drop out of high school. And thankfully, I got married, and my husband has the position that moved us to the US. And when I arrived in the US, while raising my children, I decided to go back because there were that possibility here in the US and the opportunity also to go back and finish my education. So I went back and I finished I went all the way through a master's degree. So I have a master's degree in education. So at that point, while I was doing through my education, I decided that I wish somebody have helped me. I will go back and see if I can help the girls that are still going through the same struggle that I went through, dropping out, because I saw how intelligent I were, and being able to raise 5 children and go from college, because I started college here. I finished all the way through a master's degree. I said, there are many girls in my situation that are still going through the same struggle. And that's what prompted me to go and start. I went back to do the feasibility study, and I saw that the need was there. So I came back here and I said, why not start something? We always wait for somebody to take action. So I will do it. I will start. I don't have anything, but I have my man and I have the decision, you know. So that's how I started to help the girls, because when I arrived for the feasibility study, I found that many of the girls are still dropping out of school. Although there is a middle school in the village, many of the girls didn't go beyond middle school because they have to move out of the village to relocate in the city to pursue the high school education. So at that time, I said, why not build a high school in the community so those girls stay here? And many of those who were able to move, they were coming back home. And that's what, when I went back to, and I was talking to the parents, they said to me, oh, no, you want to start this? And they start laughing at me. They say, those girls, they're useless. We spend money on them, and then they end up coming back, sitting in the kitchen with their mother and go farming with their mother. Why should we continue spending money on the girls? So I said to them, trust me, I will do something. So, and I started the program, and they trusted me. I started the program. Initially, we started the organization to build a high school in the village. We started the building of the school, but we haven't finished because of the lack of financial support. So what I do here with my coaching, all the profit in my coaching goes toward supporting the program that we have in Cameroon for the girls. So to date, we coach more than 100. Not coach. We started the tutoring program to help the girls while we complete the school, to help the girls that are already moving forward to high school to move to the city. So we started the tutoring program and the scholarship program, because once we started the tutoring program and the girls started succeeding and moving forward, their parents said to me, you created a new problem. We don't have money to send them over to the city to continue the education. We don't have money. So I came home, I came back here and I spoke with the board, and we decided to provide the girls that were succeeding in the tutoring program with scholarship. So that's what we're doing now until we complete the school. And to date, we have 10 girls that already finished high school with the high school diploma.
Wonderful, absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. And what does your husband think about all of this? You're working in the US on your coaching. The fact that you've been married 31 years, but you said 27 of them were a bit difficult. So
Yes.
presumably everything's all patched up. And is he supportive of your project?
Oh, very supportive, because I couldn't have been doing all of this if he went. And for my coaching, he's very proud of me, especially that I told him my coaching, you inspire me to start coaching, because of our marriage problem, I decided to go and train as a coach. And now I'm coaching other couple to help them, or other individual to help them see the problem. Because what I discovered through coaching while I was training and using the coaching technique to work on my relationship, I discovered that I was the one who I work on myself, because I was the one who really needed, who was how do you say, in the couple, whether you married or you living together, between a couple, you have two individuals that come together, and among those two individuals, there is always one who either contaminate or cleanse the relationship. One is either contaminated or cleansing the relationship. And I discovered that I was the one who was contaminating the relationship. I was the one who was contaminated, because my husband was doing everything that a husband could do. He was supportive of me. Everything that I did, he supported the children. At the time, he was the breadwinner, because I wasn't working, making a lot of money to say that I will be like an equal playing field in the house. I was working, but no income. So, so I saw that he was doing exactly what a husband can do, what a partner can do. But the issue that we have is that we just didn't understand each other. We didn't understand each other. We communicated differently. And so I worked mainly on myself. And what I did, every time that I did something that worked, I wrote it down. And I call them now my secret ingredient, because I'm using them now to help other couple, For example, the first one that I said, when they come in as a couple, I say, go back to the first date. So the first date, go back to the first date, because I discovered that during the first date, my husband said something to me, and that was his truth. I heard him the day that he said it to me, and I didn't listen. I heard, but I said, oh, okay, he will get over that if we get together, he will get over that. And that he will get over that, stay with me. So I carry on the relationship with that, he will get over it. So I say to couple, especially those who are engaged, you have to pay attention to that. You have to really pay attention to that first date and what your partner, or even what you will say to your partner. Because during the first date, nobody lie. Nobody lie. During the first date, everybody is honest. It doesn't mean that if a person, what it means is that if a person is a liar, he will tell the best lie. And if a person is a truthful person, that person will tell the truth about themselves on that first date. And my husband, on that first date, share something with me that I just say, okay. But what I discovered during my doing the work, I discovered that that's what I kept validating during our relationship. In our relationship, I kept validating that one thing that was so important to him. And he shared with me. And I said, he will get over it. And I kept validating that during our relationship. And that was the source of our struggle in the relationship. That was the source. And to be able to do this, to go back, you can go back, but to be able to really master it and share, and go back and share that with your partner, you have to commit to authenticity. And that's the second shift that I work with my client. Commit to authenticity. How honest are you? How honest are you in the relationship? How honest are you with yourself first? Because you have to be honest enough to say, you're the master of your universe. Nobody control you unless you let somebody control you. Because you have your universe. You, a person, that man, nobody can control that man until you open the door to anyone to get in and do whatever and mess it up. So I said to my client, you need to check yourself and examine how honest you are in yourself and in your relationship. And then we move to, because to help my client decide, because it's difficult after many years to like for example, the first date. I have one client who said to me, I'm married, I have been married for 30 years. How can I even remember the first date, what he said to me? And I said, because it doesn't leave you. That one thing that was so important to your partner, and they share with you that day, is still there in your mind, because you know that day, like me, I say he will get over it. Maybe you say he will get over it, or she will get over it. And you kept going. Or you got home and you said, and you start thinking, I don't know exactly what this person meant when this person said this to me, when they said this to me. It doesn't leave you. And while we were talking, she said, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's true, because now that you're saying, yeah, he said that to me. I said, yeah, it doesn't leave you. And she said, you're so right. I said, I'm not right. I don't want to be right. Don't say that I'm right. I'm here to help you resolve your relationship struggle. That's all. That you honest. That's why you're recognizing it. That your partner said that to you that day. And that is the source of your dispute in your relationship, in your marriage, or just your relationship. Maybe you just living together. Is the source of the dispute between both of you. And I got this out of inspiration. I don't know. I got it.
So it's interesting, isn't it, how people from the outside looking in, because we don't have the emotional attachment that somebody does in an intimate relationship, so we can ask the direct questions, and it, as you say, you by asking the question, you elicit the inside of the person. You know, you bring out what's on the inside, and it's working on yourself. But we can't do it ourselves. We can't do it within the relationship. We need somebody on the outside who's objective but
Exactly.
not emotional.
Yeah, and that's I say to my client, I say, I'm not here as a coach. I don't tell you what to do. I have my my recipe here with the ingredient. I will give you the ingredient and I will explain to you how they work. But it's up to you to decide whether they're appropriate for your relationship or not. But everybody can use it, whether you are a professional, whether you are married or not, whether you engage, everybody can use my recipe, and they will work for, because you have to work on that personal relationship and your relationship with yourself, because awakening your body and your heart and your mind is essential. And all this, because we get, I know that in my relationship before I got to the point that I resolved everything, it was affecting my health. It was affecting my health, you know, and I was having all these little things. I would go and see the doctor. They would say, everything is good. We did all the exam and you're healthy. No, what they didn't check is my mind. They didn't check my mind. Nobody checked my mind, because my health issue was emotional related, related, because it was stemmed by the stress that I was putting on myself. I was exerting stress on my mind, and everything else was going south, was going down south, you know, and that was the induced stress. It was the induced stress.
People underestimate how much stress causes problems. Stress causes inflammation in the body, and inflammation leads to disease and illness. And as you said at the beginning, the mind, heart, and the body they all talk to one another. And if your mind isn't right, that affects your body, and so it goes on. So it's been lovely hearing what you're up to, Jacqueline, and so happy that your relationship is back on track now, as I'm sure your whole family are, not just your husband, but your children as well, 5 children.
The whole family, because I have to, you know, when you have I said to my children, I was the contaminant in this house. I have to take that ownership, honestly. And we have to go through and help them recover, because when we recover in our relationship, they didn't recognize us, our children, because they're all adults now. They didn't recognize us. They came home and they were in the old
pattern,
the old dynamic that we had with they didn't recognize us, and they even resented me. I have 2 girls and 3 boys. The girls were the one who reacted most. They resented me. They didn't want to talk to me. Because they saw me. They didn't see the argument. You know, they didn't see me argue with my husband, fight with my husband. And they didn't know how to fit in. So we have to work with them to bring them in. And we did our work with them. So it's the entire, things are not working with one person in the household or even in the relationship, everybody else suffer. Your relationship suffer at work. I have one client who came in where she did, because one of the shift that I asked my client, that I call the secret weapon, is writing a forgiveness letter. And I have clients who were unable to do that, because I say you have to write the letter, but starting by forgiving yourself before you can forgive any other person. And she wrote the letter. This client wrote the letter, and she came back and she said to me, it was hard. When I started doing this, it was so hard. I even thought of firing you. And I said, okay, that's good. When you think of firing your coach, it means that she's doing the right thing for you. I'm so happy that you said that. And she said to me, no, I'm honest. That's what I thought. But once I did it, I love you now. I adore you now, because I did it. And what I did, she went on rampage of forgiveness. She went to her family. She asked forgiveness to her co-worker. She asked forgiveness. She said to me, I made a list, because I was hurting all these people with my issue unknowingly. I said, you courageous, because I have other client. This one was a man. He came in and he said he can't do the forgive. He's not ready to do the forgiveness, to write the forgiveness letter. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. I said, oh, if you're ready, come back.
And that's it as well, isn't it? It's timing. When the time is right, it's like the universe seems to deliver us the right time and the wrong time for doing things. And sometimes things don't work out. It's because they're not meant to, because the timing's wrong. It's uncanny how that works out. We need to wrap up now, Jacqueline. So how do people get hold of you?
Yeah, I have my my website, JA Coaching for Harmony, / newsletter for those who want to connect with me directly. They can go there and they will get information. And I'm starting a new coaching course in February, the 16th of February. So people can reach out to me and through my website. And I also have my email, info@jalifecoaching.com. People can reach out to me. I'm on social media, Jacqueline Audige on social media, or JA Coaching for Harmony on social media, on website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm all on all those
You're all over the place.
platforms.
You're everywhere. And Coaching for Harmony, the 4 is a number 4. It's not the word 4. It's Coaching for Harmony. Coaching #4 harmony.com.
On the website, on Facebook. Facebook didn't let me write 4. I have to write the letter in letter. So it's 4 FOR on Facebook. Yeah. They didn't let me put the 4.
Okay. Hey ho. Marvelous speaking with you, Jacqueline. Keep shining your light and keep helping those couples. And may your husband and you be many years happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this platform to because my a big, hairy, audacious goal is to be able to help at least 1,000 individual or couple by 2025. Create a harmony in themselves and build that better relationship with themselves and others.
Brilliant.
So thank you for giving me the platform, and thank you all your all your audience member that will listen to me for taking the time to listen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we'll share this around for you when it gets posted. I'll let you know. Thank you, Jacqueline. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.